The literature class feels different today. Word had already spread across campus. Ethan Blake was quickly becoming everyone's favorite professor. The classroom is packed. Most students are paying attention. Some because they enjoy literature. Most because of him. Several girls had clearly put more effort into their appearance than usual. More makeup. More confidence. More attempts to get noticed. At the front of the room, Ethan continues teaching calmly. Meanwhile, Nyla sits near the back of the classroom. Her notebook is open. Her pen moves occasionally, but her mind is somewhere else entirely. Nobody knows where. Every now and then her eyes drift toward the window, then back to the board, then somewhere else again, as if she's trying to solve something only she can see. Beside her, Zoe notices. Of course she notices. Zoe notices everything about Nyla, but she says nothing. At the front of the room, Ethan suddenly stops speaking. The classroom falls silent. Can anyone explain why the author chose to end the story this way? Nobody answers. A few students immediately look down. Others avoid eye contact. Then, Ethan's gaze settles on one person. Nyla. The entire classroom turns toward her. Nyla blinks. Slowly looks up. For a moment, everyone expects her to admit she wasn't listening. Instead, she answers, perfectly, calmly, every point correct. The explanation is detailed and precise. The room goes silent, because she had looked completely disconnected from the lecture. Even Ethan looks surprised. Yet somehow, she knew the answer. A small smile appears on his face. Correct. Whispers immediately spread through the room. How did she know that? I swear she wasn't paying attention. She's actually scary. Ethan closes his book, then casually says, Nyla, stay behind for a few minutes after class. The classroom instantly explodes into whispers. You're so lucky. I'd stay after class every day. I wish he'd ask me. Zoe's smile freezes. Only for a second, but it's enough. Her eyes slowly move from Ethan to Nyla, then back to Ethan again. Something sharp flickers behind her smile. Gone almost immediately. The lecture continues, but Zoe isn't really listening anymore. Neither is Nyla. A few minutes later, class ends. Students begin gathering their things. The room fills with conversation. Nyla closes her notebook, still looking slightly uncertain. Then she turns toward Zoe. Do you think I should go? Zoe immediately smiles. Yeah. Nyla hesitates. I don't even know where his office is. Oh. Zoe leans back in her chair. It's on the 4th floor. She says it without even thinking. Go left after the stairs. 3rd door. Nyla looks at her. You know that? For the briefest moment, Zoe pauses, then laughs. I get bored. I know where everything is. Nyla accepts the answer, but something about it feels strange. Before she can think about it longer, Zoe smiles again. Right. Friendly. Perfect. Call me if you need anything. A small pause. Then she adds softly, I'll always pick up. Nyla nods and heads for the door. Zoe watches her leave. The smile remains on her face, but her eyes never leave Nyla for a single second. Nyla disappears through the classroom door. The room slowly empties. Soon, only Zoe remains, sitting alone, quiet. Her fingers tap slowly against the desk. Her smile is gone. Her thoughts are somewhere far away. Then, a chair scrapes beside her. Someone sits down. Zoe doesn't even look. Hey. A guy with messy dark hair and an easy grin leans back in the seat. His name is Cole Harper, a 3rd-year student, known for talking to everyone, especially girls. How's life, Zoe? Zoe finally glances at him. Expression blank. Who are you? Cole laughs. Ouch. He places a hand over his chest. You don't know me? No. That's tragic. He grins. Cole Harper. Zoe immediately looks away again, clearly uninterested. Cole doesn't seem bothered. You know. He pulls out his phone. We should exchange Instagram IDs. No. The answer comes instantly. No? No. Cole chuckles. You're mean. Find another seat. Fair enough. He starts to stand, then pauses. What about your friend? Zoe's eyes shift toward him. What friend? Nyla. The moment her name leaves his mouth, Zoe freezes. Only for a second. But Cole notices. A slow smile spreads across Zoe's face, the kind that never reaches her eyes. What about her? Cole shrugs. She seems cool. Zoe says nothing. Smart. Still nothing. Pretty too. The smile remains on Zoe's face, unmoving, almost painted on. Cole suddenly feels the temperature in the room drop. Something about her expression feels wrong. Then Zoe speaks softly. What exactly do you think about her, Cole? For the first time since sitting down, Cole isn't smiling quite as much. Nyla stands outside Ethan's office door. For a moment, she doesn't knock. Her teeth catch one of her fingernails as she stares at the wooden door, lost in thought. Something feels strange. She can't explain why. After a few seconds, she finally raises her hand and knocks. Come in. The voice comes from inside. Nyla opens the door. Ethan is sitting behind his desk, focused on something on his laptop. When he hears the door open, he lifts his head. A familiar smile appears on his face. Easy. Charming. Almost too perfect. He nods toward the chair across from him. Have a seat. Nyla quietly steps inside and sits down. For a brief moment, Ethan's eyes drop toward her outfit before returning to her face. Then he smiles. So, Nyla, right? She nods. Yes. Ethan leans back slightly in his chair. I called you the other day. Nyla's expression doesn't change. I don't answer calls from unknown numbers. A small laugh escapes him. Fair enough. For a few seconds, silence settles between them. Then Ethan folds his hands together. You seem distracted in class sometimes. Nyla says nothing. But you're talented. His gaze remains fixed on her. Very talented. Nyla shakes her head slightly. It's not like that. Ethan smiles. I've watched you in class. The words make Nyla pause. You understand things most students don't. He leans forward. And honestly, his voice softens. If something's bothering you, you can tell me. Nyla remains still. I'll always support you. Another smile. Warm. Reassuring. Carefully practiced. You can think of me as a close friend if you want. The expression on his face almost looks innocent. Nyla immediately shakes her head. No. A brief silence follows. I don't have anything to share. Something flickers in Ethan's eyes. Gone almost instantly. He slowly rises from his chair. Nyla watches him carefully. Ethan walks around the desk, then stops behind her chair. Nyla's shoulders tense. His hand settles firmly on her shoulder, a little tighter than necessary. If you don't want to talk here, his voice lowers. Maybe we could go somewhere else. Before he can finish, Nyla suddenly stands. The chair scrapes sharply against the floor. No. The answer comes instantly. Thank you, but no. Without waiting for a response, she grabs her bag and heads for the door. Almost rushing. The moment she reaches the hallway, she leaves. Fast. Ethan remains standing in the office, silent, watching the door slowly swing shut. For several seconds, he doesn't move. Then, a smile spreads across his face. Not warm, not friendly, something colder. something that doesn't reach his eyes. And then he quietly closes the laptop.